In the heart of a small village nestled in the war-torn region of Nigeria, 16-year-old Emeka wakes to the sound of distant gunfire. The village, once vibrant with life, now seems to hold its breath under the weight of conflict. Emeka's days are marked by the struggle to find food and water, but today, on the eve of a new year, a deeper realization dawns on him. As he watches his younger brother, Chidi, play with a broken toy soldier, he understands that the war they fight isn't just outside their doors, but within their minds and hearts. Emeka decides today will be different. He will face not the physical threats, but the psychological ones that have begun to seep into their lives. Emeka spends his morning moving through the village, noting how fear has changed people. His neighbor, Mama Hada, no longer laughs. Her eyes are hollow from nights spent listening for signs of danger. Emeka sees the village children, once full of curiosity, now only play games of survival. He remembers his father, who taught him resilience in the face of adversity, but even his father's spirit seems to wane. As the day progresses, Emeka feels the weight of this silent enemy, fear, more than the bullets and bombs. He decides it's time for a change, not just for himself but for the entire community. With the sun setting, casting long shadows over the village, Emeka gathers his courage. He visits the village elder, Baba Tunde, to share his idea of a community gathering for New Year's Eve. Baba Tunde, initially skeptical, sees the light in Emeka's eyes and agrees to help. They plan to use this gathering not just to celebrate but to heal, to speak of dreams and aspirations, turning the page on a year of fear. Emeka starts spreading the word, facing skepticism but also igniting a spark of hope in those who listen. Emeka spends the next days organizing. He recruits his friends, each bringing a piece of the community together. There's H. Hada, who has a talent for storytelling, Kofi, who knows every tune on his old guitar, and Emeka, whose art can transform even the darkest moments into something beautiful. Together, they plan a night where everyone can share, from stories of loss to dreams of peace. Emeka notices how this planning itself begins to heal the community, bringing smiles and laughter back to faces that had forgotten how. Food is scarce, but Emeka and his friends decide to pool whatever they can find. They turn this scarcity into a lesson of sharing, where every grain of rice matters. Mama Hada contributes her last batch of dried fish, symbolizing a hope for abundance in the coming year. The preparation becomes a communal effort, with each person adding what they can, turning the act of cooking into a celebration of unity and hope. As the sun sets on New Year's Eve, the village gathers in the small square where once the market thrived. Lanterns are lit, casting warm light on faces that have seen too much darkness. Emeka stands before them, his heart pounding, not from fear, but from the anticipation of change. He speaks of their shared past, the hardships, but emphasizes the night as a new beginning. The atmosphere shifts from one of cautious hope to an eager anticipation for what they can create together. The gathering begins with stories. Hada tells of her grandmother's tales, blending myth with the harsh realities of their current lives, reminding everyone of their resilience. One by one, villagers share their stories, some of loss, others of small victories, weaving a tapestry of collective memory. Emeka listens, feeling the community's pain but also its strength, realizing that these stories are the beginning of healing. Kofi starts to play, his guitar strings echoing the heartbeat of the village. Music, once a forgotten luxury, now flows through the crowd, lifting spirits as people begin to dance. Even those with heavy hearts find themselves moving, the rhythm a balm for their souls. Emeka watches his plan unfold, seeing how music not only entertains but reconnects, reminding everyone of their shared humanity. Emeka takes the stage with her art, encouraging everyone to draw or write their dreams for the future on pieces of cloth. These dreams, from simple wishes for peace to grand visions of prosperity, are hung around the square, turning it into a gallery of hope. Emeka participates, his dream simple but profound, a village free from fear. As these dreams are shared, the night transforms into a testament to the power of collective hope. As midnight approaches, Emeka speaks again, this time not as a planner but as one of them. He proposes a resolution for the new year, to face their fears together, to support each other, and to rebuild not just their homes but their lives. The community agrees, their voices rising in a collective affirmation, a promise to each other. Fireworks, saved for this moment, light up the sky, symbolizing not just the end of a year but the birth of a new community spirit. The morning after the gathering, the village wakes to a new sense of purpose. Emeka feels a shift within himself. The fear that once gripped him has loosened its hold. Together with his friends, they start cleaning up, but the act feels different now, filled with hope rather than dread. Villagers begin discussing how they can continue this newfound spirit throughout the year, and small plans for communal projects and support systems begin to form. Emeka, inspired by the night's success, proposes a community garden. The idea isn't just about growing food, but about nurturing hope and cooperation. They find a piece of land that was once a battlefield, now to be turned into a symbol of peace and growth. The community comes together, clearing the land, planting seeds, each person contributing, each seed a promise for the future. Word of the village's New Year's event spreads to nearby settlements. Curious visitors come, some seeking refuge, others to learn about this beacon of hope in a dark time. Emeka and his friends welcome them, sharing their story, their methods for coping with trauma. This interaction brings new perspectives and strength, reinforcing the belief that even in conflict, peace can start small but grow. Emeka organizes art workshops, using art as therapy. Villagers, including children who've seen too much, find solace in painting, sculpting, or simply drawing their nightmares out. Emeka joins in, discovering his own artistic voice, using it to express what words cannot. Through art, they begin to heal, one piece at a time, turning personal pain into communal beauty. Kofi expands on the night's success by organizing regular music sessions. Music becomes a medium for expressing grief, hope, and joy. He teaches children the basics, not only preserving their cultural heritage, but also giving them a voice. Emeka finds himself learning to play, the rhythm helping him to regulate his emotions, finding peace in the melody. With the village elder, Babatunde, Emeka initiates informal education sessions. They lack proper resources, but they have knowledge to share. Under the shade of the large baobab tree, lessons on reading, writing, and history become a daily ritual, giving structure to days that once felt aimless. Education here is not just about academics, but about understanding their past and envisioning their future. A skirmish nearby tests the village's newfound resolve. Fear threatens to return, but Emeka rallies everyone, reminding them of their night of hope. They decide not to flee but to fortify their community, both physically and emotionally. This event solidifies their bond, proving that their psychological strength can withstand external threats. Emeka meets a former soldier from the opposing side, now displaced and seeking solace. This encounter stirs complex emotions, but through dialogue and shared stories, they find common ground. The village begins to understand the human aspect of their enemies, leading to a slow but profound journey towards forgiveness and reconciliation. Inspired by this understanding, Emeka and his friends start reaching out to other villages. They organize a peace festival, inviting all, even those from conflicting groups, to share in this new vision of unity. The festival is a success, not in ending the conflict, but in planting seeds of peace in many hearts. As the year progresses, Emeka reflects on how far they've come. The community garden is flourishing, symbolizing their growth. Education continues under the baobab tree, music fills the air, and art decorates their lives. However, the real path forward is in their collective resolve to not let fear dictate their lives. They plan for the next new year, not as an escape from the past year, but as a celebration of their resilience and hope for what's to come. The community garden yields its first significant harvest. This isn't just about food. It's a testament to their collective effort and resilience. Emeka leads a festival of thanks, where they share the harvest with neighboring villages, strengthening bonds. This act of giving, even in scarcity, reinforces the belief in community and mutual aid. A visitor arrives, a historian documenting the impact of war on small villages. Through conversations with Emeka and others, they realize the importance of recording their stories, not just for healing but for history. This leads to a project where villagers write or dictate their experiences, creating a collective memory that will outlive the conflict. The informal school under the baobab tree grows, with children from neighboring villages joining. Emeka, now recognized as a leader among his peers, sees education as the key to breaking cycles of violence. They start discussing how to make this education more structured, perhaps even inviting teachers from safer areas to visit periodically. Kofi organizes a larger music event, inviting musicians from across the region. Music becomes a language of unity, transcending ethnic and political divides. Emeka marvels at how something as simple as music can bring peace to a troubled heart, seeing firsthand how it can also bridge gaps between people. Hineka's art workshops evolve into a gallery of resilience, showcasing works that speak of survival, loss, and hope. An external art critic, passing through, is moved by the raw emotion and decides to help by arranging an exhibition in the city. This not only brings attention to their plight, but also funds to support their artistic healing. A new militia group emerges, threatening the peace they've built. Emeka and the community must decide whether to fight, flee, or seek dialogue. The decision is tough, but they choose dialogue, sending a delegation to speak peace. This moment tests all they've learned about fear, community, and resilience. The meeting with the militia is tense, but through Emeka's words and the shared stories of their village, they manage to negotiate a truce. It's not peace, but it's a step back from the brink of further conflict. This experience becomes a powerful lesson in diplomacy and the strength of community over violence. With peace talks underway, Emeka starts a circle of stories where people from both sides share their experiences. This act of sharing humanizes the enemy, breaking down stereotypes and fostering empathy. The village becomes a place of healing not just for themselves, but for others caught in the conflict. As another new year approaches, they plan a festival of light, symbolizing the light they found in dark times. This event is larger, with more villages participating, each bringing their own light, be it through lanterns, art, or stories. Emeka feels a profound connection to his community, seeing how far they've come from that first night of hope. On New Year's Day, Emeka stands at the community garden, now lush and vibrant. He reflects on the journey from fear to hope, from isolation to community. The village, though still in a conflict zone, has transformed internally. He looks forward to the future, not with naivety, but with a grounded hope, knowing that every day is an opportunity to choose peace, love, and community. They've learned that survival isn't just about enduring, but about living with purpose and shared dreams.